an astrological forecast for December 2025 for representatives of the Taurus zodiac sign. December 2025 for you is a time when you will want to act contrary to circumstances. It is precisely the feeling of resistance, struggle, competition, the feeling of a countercurrent. It is this that will fuel your determination. And this, of course, can manifest in completely different spheres of life, in different scenarios. At the simplest level, if the weather outside is good, the sun is shining, there is no wind, then there is no particular interest in going for a morning walk or a run. But if there is wind, rain, or wet snow outside, then a desire arises to go and do it, to go for a walk or to go for a run. That is, to act from a position of the weather won't tell me what to do. And this desire to fight external circumstances will positively influence your overall vitality. You will feel strong, resilient, and determined. At the very beginning of this month, an important question for you will be decided, one that is connected to your personal income, personal resources, or savings. In general, the themes of income, profit, joint budget, planning major purchases, the level of your income and your partner's income. All these financial topics and property issues will be relevant themes for you in December, and you will have a feeling of readiness to reach new financial frontiers, a readiness to enter into some new financial project or take on a new financial obligation. This month, there will be several astrological aspects quite favorable towards your sign, which may indicate the successful completion of those affairs and scenarios that originated in your matters, in your life, back at the beginning of October 2025. This could concern an important meeting for you, an important conversation, an important purchase, sale, or an important and promising agreement, both of a personal and business nature. The general mood for your sign in December is an active, combative, decisive one. In matters of relationships, reasons that caused you a feeling of discomfort will be settled. For example, if in the past 2 months there were any difficulties in your partner's affairs, and this caused you worry, or there were reasons for disagreements within the family or work collective, then around the middle of December this cause will disappear. That is, there will no longer be reasons for concern on these issues. The very end of December will delight us with a favorable aspect of Mars with the karmic lunar nodes. And this will enhance your optimism, even despite any external circumstances. Let's discuss in more detail the most important astrological aspects of December and their influence on your sign step by step. On December 4th, a full moon occurs in the sign of Gemini, in your second house of the horoscope. The full moon completes certain themes, provides clarity and results. And the second house is the sector of our personal income, personal property, and personal assets in general. That is, this is a time that will bring clarity in matters related to your finances. This time may bring clarity regarding what level of salary you can expect in the coming few months. This is a time when the question regarding the level of your expenses may be resolved. That is, there will be some certainty about what expenses lie ahead for you. This is a time when you may receive the money you are counting on, that you are expecting. Also, you can make payments, some payments on your financial obligations, and will understand that this topic is closed and you can breathe a sigh of relief. During this period, you may receive a card from some bank or open an account. That is, one way or another, resolve some financial question or property matter. On December 5th, a very interesting astrological aspect takes place in the starry sky, an aspect of important choice. On this day, the sun will be in tense aspects in relation to the karmic lunar nodes. And no matter what specific issue arises on this day, its essence is the same. Its essence is choice. Should I act alone, in my own way, or should I act together with other people? But in that case, I will have to sacrifice part of my interests and my plans. That is, in essence, it is the choice of I or we. And right now, the foundation is being laid for a scenario that will begin to unfold in full force in 3 years. On December 6th and 7th, a very favorable astrological aspect awaits us, an aspect of luck between the planet Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is a repeated aspect. It already influenced us around October 28th and 29th. And if back then, at the end of October, you left something didn't put a final point on something, didn't come to an agreement with someone, didn't go somewhere, didn't travel somewhere, didn't decide on something, then now is the time. These are lucky days for joint actions, purchases, trips, for planning joint affairs. And of course, since Mercury is the god of trade, this is a good time for all kinds of purchases and for trade in general. On December 9th, a tense aspect awaits us, a square between Mars and the planet Saturn, which in your horoscope will affect the 8th and 11th astro fields. It forms the necessity, figuratively speaking, to push harder, to show firmness of character, firmness of your intention, to show persistence in a matter that might have originated back in April 2024. This is a question that may relate to finances and property, to your financial settlements and agreements with other people or organizations. It may relate to the method of settlement between you and your clients. This is a day when you can and should demand what you consider rightfully yours. On December 11th, on this day, the planet Venus will also be in tense aspects in relation to the karmic lunar nodes. This is an interesting day. It is a kind of test day. And by the events of this day, by the mood of this day, one can judge the general level of satisfaction with life, your satisfaction with life. There may be important events related to children and the sphere of personal life. This is a good day, and based on its results, you yourself can judge how correct the choices you made in life were. Also on this day, it is worth indulging and pleasing yourself with something. On December 12th, the planet Mercury changes signs and moves into the space of the sign Sagittarius, into your 8th house of the horoscope. Mercury is thoughts, words, calculations, it is trade, and the 8th house is the sector of shared and joint finances and resources. Therefore, in the near future, topics related to, for example, processing some payments, major purchases, resolving issues related to debts, your financial obligations will be relevant for you. This is a time when you can plan and make some major joint purchases, which you probably discussed within the family back at the beginning of October 2025. This is a time when you may receive some certificates or file financial reports, resolve issues related to taxes, or reprocess, for example, your insurance policy. On December 14th, the planet Mars will be in a tense aspect in relation to the planet Neptune. This day may bring, so to speak, dubious situations. This is a day of ineffective actions, and throughout the day we may blame ourselves for inaction. And at the same time on this day, a firm intention may be born in us to sort things out, to bring order to a situation that we have let slide. On this day, special attentiveness is needed in your promises and also in your financial spending. On December 15th, the planet Mars, the source of strength, energy, and actions, moves into the space of the sign Capricorn, into your 9th house of the horoscope. This is a very favorable transit of Mars for your sign, since Mars will be making an aspect of luck in relation to your sign. And this will enhance your optimism. That is, this is a time when you will feel that I know what to do, and I am doing it, and I am doing it well. And this, again, launches a cycle of optimism and a feeling of having wings behind your back. In the period from December 17th to 21st, the Sun will be in tense aspects in relation to the planets Saturn and Neptune. And for all zodiac signs, this means a time of harsh results, a time of meeting reality, a period when we are essentially forced to face the truth. This is a time of summing up, drawing a line, a time when we look at the objective results of our actions, a time when we look at expectations and reality. Since in your horoscope this affects the 8th and 11th astro fields, this is a time when you will understand that without radical steps on your part, nothing significant will change. On December 20th, the black moon Lilith, the projection of the demon tempter in our horoscope, changes signs. And until September 14th, 2026, Lilith will be located in your 8th house of the horoscope. Lilith shows us the sphere of temptations, illusions, mirages, and mistakes. At the same time, it shows the sphere of attraction, the maximum attraction of our attention. And for you, this is the sphere of the 8th astro field. This is the house of passions, the house of rebirth, and also the house of large financial sums. In detail about what this transit of the black moon will bring to all zodiac signs, I will make a separate video about that. And on the same day, December 20th, a new moon occurs in the sign Sagittarius, in your 8th house of the horoscope. The new moon is the birth of new energy. It is new scenarios, new opportunities, new topics for reflection. And the 8th house is the sphere of shared and joint finances and resources, shared assets. And this is a time when new opportunities related to joint earnings may appear. This is a time when you may distribute your common joint income with your life partner differently, with your parents, or discuss issues of income distribution in the company where you work. This is a time when you may pay more attention to financial planning and financial reporting. Also, during this period, you will generally think about the need to build your financial life somehow differently. This is also a time that may bring you additional income from afar. On December 21st at 15:03 Greenwich Mean Time, the sun moves into the space of the sign Capricorn. This is the day of the winter solstice. This is a very important point, one of the 4 most important points of the year. This is the day when, from an astronomical point of view, winter begins in the northern hemisphere. This is the day of the birth of the new sun. This is the time for setting goals for 2026. It is right now that we are sowing the seeds that will sprout in the 20s of March 2026. Therefore, on this day, it is worth finding time to work with your goals, to write them down on paper. In the period from December 20th to 24th, the planet Venus, which is the ruler of your sign and symbolizes all earthly blessings and joys, Venus will be in tense aspects in relation to the planets Saturn and Neptune. And in your horoscope, this means that on these days you will have reasons for joy, for being pleased with something or someone, but at the same time, you will be as if forced to hide it. For example, you might be preparing some surprise, which in essence is already ready, and you are just waiting for the moment when you can announce it. These are days when you will have a reason for joy, but for some reason, you will be forced to hide your truly good mood. On December 24th, the planet Venus moves into the space of the sign Capricorn, your 9th house of the horoscope. This is a favorable transit of Venus for you. It will, just like the transit of Mars, give an aspect of luck in relation to your sign. And this means that during this period you can favorably resolve some bureaucratic issues. This transit can show us a pleasant trip, good news from afar, or a feeling of favorable prospects that await you in the near future. Also, this is a period when you may receive some pleasant surprises and signs of attention from friends or relatives of your life partner. This is a time when a conflict will be settled, if such is present in your work relationships. On December 30th, the planet Mercury will be in a tense aspect in relation to the planet Saturn, which will affect your 8th and 11th astro fields. This is a day of responsible matters, for example, purchases, important conversations, or trips. At the same time, there may be some restraining factor present here. For instance, when you understand that I can afford this and I want it, but the people who surround me, with whom I am planning some action together, they cannot afford it. Therefore, I am forced to refuse something. That is, this is a day when we, on the one hand, feel our possibilities, our strength, and on the other hand, for some reasons, are forced to limit ourselves in something. On December 31st, the planet Mars, the source of strength and energy, will be in favorable aspects in relation to the karmic lunar nodes. This is an aspect that greatly enhances the power of our words, good intentions, and good wishes. Therefore, on this day, one should not be stingy with kind words and good wishes for oneself and one's loved ones. This, from the point of view of astrology, is what December 2025 will be like. And I wish you a wonderful, successful month, dear Taurus.